Hello everyone and welcome back to tutorial number 3 in the SPFx development series. In this particular tutorial, we are going to go ahead and build the actual mermaid diagram. We built the property in the property pane, or we included a property in the property pane, and our end goal is when somebody goes ahead and puts in code out here, a diagram should be displayed. So for the diagram to be displayed, the first thing that we need to do is install the prerequisites. You install the npm packages for the mermaid. So I will just do a Control-C and I'm going to install mermaid. So I'll just say npm install mermaid. Right? This should install the mermaid prerequisite into my project. In short, it will install the prerequisite in my node module. Perfect. So the mermaid prerequisite has been installed. There should be a mermaid folder out here somewhere, which you can find for yourself. In fact, there are so many folders which starts from M. So it's this one. The folder is here. So the prerequisites or the dependencies are installed. If you go to package.json, you should also have that included out here. Perfect. So we are using Mermaid 11.5.0 version, right? That's what we are using. So let's go back into none other than our TS file where the real magic is happening, and let's go ahead and start writing some code. So as I told you, we are not going to use few of the methods. We don't need the get environment method. We don't need the theme changed method. So we don't need these two methods. So let's get rid of this. We don't even, I don't think we need this. That's one thing that we don't need. Let's see what the error is, what other error we have. So we should have some errors out here, which is this. Right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it very simple and we leave it at this. So the errors are gone, right? So this is good. And then we are left with the data version. Let the data version be there. We have the property pane, we have the initialize method, and we have the none other than the render method. We should also clean up the code within the render method. So what I'm going to do is we don't need this. So just leave it at this and I'll leave it as this, right? So the render method, the initialization method, data version, and property pane. Perfect. So this is how our file looks now. We are not going to use external CSS, nor are we going to use something or the other dependency. So now our file looks clean and our file is like 62 lines. It was quite big. So that being said, I will start typing in some code, right? I'm joking. I'm not going to type in code, or else it will be tomorrow that I'll finish this tutorial. So the first thing would to go ahead and import mermaid. We have imported mermaid, right? That's the first thing that we need to do. Now the second thing that we need to do is we need on initialization. Okay, on initialization we need to make sure that the mermaid is also initialized. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to initialize the mermaid dependency. So this is how it's going to look like. And I think when it's initialized, the easiest thing would be to return a promise. So this is how our initialize method is. Now that we have initialized mermaid, the next step would be to go ahead and write a mermaid method. So how to render the mermaid diagram. Let me copy in some code, and this is going to be an async method, and this would look like this. So let's understand the render mermaid diagram method. So first thing, it is a private method. It's an async method. So I even have await out here. So there will be calls, right? And asynchronous calls. That's why it's async. Next that you see is it has a definition known as graph definition of type string. This is basically the parameter that contains the Mermaid JS syntax, which will be representing the diagram. Graph ID, it's an HTML element where the diagram will be rendered, and we will return a promise, right? That's what it is. Now this is the principal method. The next line would be, we need to go ahead and use a query selector to find the element in the DOM, which is given a graph ID, and it's of type HTML, and we are going to save it in GraphDiv. Now what happens if the GraphDiv is empty? It will return an error, or it will console error saying that Mermaid diagram container was not found. Okay, simple, some error handling out here. Now the next thing is a try catch block. First thing that we are going to do is we are going to call Mermaid. If you see, I'm calling the Mermaid, and it's an async method, and what it does is that it has a unique identifier for the Mermaid diagram, if you see the ID, and then it also has a definition, right? The definition would be the text that we provide. Once this calls, we need to go ahead and pass these two things. It will return me an SVG file. The SVG file is actually the generated Mermaid diagram. Then what I do? I append this SVG to an HTML element in the DOM, and then I console log saying all good, Mermaid diagram has rendered successfully. Now that being said, the next thing would be setting up the binding. So the bind function exists if bind is necessary. The event handler interacts with the diagram. Finally, the catch. What happens if there's an error? We go ahead and show in the GraphDiv, error rendering Mermaid diagram. Something is wrong. Please check your syntax, or something like that, right? So that's what we are going to go ahead and do out here. That being said, this is the actual functionality of the Mermaid diagram. Now that's all good. We have the Mermaid diagram, the rendering of the Mermaid diagram sorted out. Next, what we want to do? We want to get into the render and try to render the Mermaid diagram, right? So this is the DOM element, right? First thing that I'm going to do is I need to get the Mermaid text, and I'll make sure that the Mermaid text is here, because on render we need the Mermaid text. The property is Mermaid text, and if the property exists, use the Mermaid text, or else, and then trim the ends and make sure that, or just put in an empty string. Now that's interesting. There are two properties, right? The Mermaid and the description, and these two are actually the properties are in the property pane. So this dot properties is used to access the properties in the property pane. The next thing that I'm going to do some error handling. So if Mermaid text is empty, show this message, right? Show this message. If there's no text in there, show this message. Good. I'll show the message. Then I'll create a unique ID for the diagram, and this is going to be the unique ID that I was talking about. Then what I'm going to do? I'm going to inject the container for the Mermaid diagram. So I'm going to copy some code and paste in here, and let's see how we inject it. So this is an HTML element. I use the unique ID and have some styles with 1px border, and this is where our Mermaid diagram, this will be the Mermaid diagram container. And the final piece in the puzzle would be to go ahead and render the Mermaid diagram. So here I'm going to go ahead and use a set timeout, and I'm going to say wait for 100 milliseconds. And I'll make sure that it renders these. So I'm going ahead and passing in the Mermaid text. It's here, the property from the property pane, and the unique graph ID. Now that being said, this is all good, but there's something that we are missing. I spoke about rendering the property pane in real time. So when the property or something changes in the property pane, we want to re-render our web part, and that's going to happen with none other than onPropertyPane field change method. This is the method that is going to re-render and check the mermaid with the old value when it's not equal to the new value. When that happens, go ahead and re-render the render method. There are so many renders. So what we are going to say, when the old text is not equal to the new text, please go ahead and render the property. Just re-render the whole web part. So at this point, I'm going to say gulp. So before that, what I'm going to do is, it should be automatically saved, but I'll say save all. I'll say gulp so. Now this should open my workbench, and you know that my workbench is acting funny, so I might have to actually hard refresh it. But before that, let's try our luck. I'll just add this. It's trying something. It's still showing the old thing. That's not good. That means I need to do a Control-Shift-R. Still not good. Not good at all. So at times what happens is that our script doesn't load. So what we can do is we can go to, you'll have a URL like this in your console or in your terminal. You can copy this URL, right? There is a caching issue out here, and paste it in and hit enter. Now it will tell me load debug script. So let me load the debug script, and here, my friends, it loaded it. And go to the mermaid diagram site, and let me copy a Kanban, right? Okay, Kanban doesn't look good. Let me copy an XY chart. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. And here, my friends, it renders, right? It renders. Now, if I remove one last line from here, it still re-renders. So if you see, our logic is in place. Our mermaid diagram is rendering. Very awesome. Yes, you have created your web part. In the next tutorial, we are going to package this web part and deploy it into a SharePoint environment. Thank you. Have a great day, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.